Okay, so today we're going to talk about a guy named Richard Steele. Now, you've probably never heard of him, right? But what if I told you he basically invented the modern magazine? Yeah, the blueprint for a ton of the media we all consume every single day. That was him.
So just think about it for a second. Before we had blogs, before magazines, and definitely before social media, who told people what was cool or how to act, how to even think and feel about things? I mean, where did you go for advice? For the longest time, there wasn't really an answer until this guy came along.
And that guy was Richard Steele. Now, yeah, he was an Irish writer, a playwright, even a politician. But honestly, he was a media entrepreneur way ahead of his time. He spotted something nobody else did. There was this brand new audience popping up in the cities, the middle class. And these folks, they could read, they had a little bit of money to spend, and they were hungry for content. They wanted something smart, something funny, something that would help them figure out how to navigate their brand new world. And Steele, he was ready to serve it up. So how'd he pull it off? Well, it all started with his first big idea. And look, Steele wasn't just writing dusty old books. No way. He invented a whole new way of talking to people, a format that, honestly, we totally take for granted today.
And here's what's so important to understand about him, his mission. This wasn't just about making money or selling papers. He was on a genuine quest to, well, to make public life a little better. He had this brilliant idea to mix entertainment with education, to sneak in these little lessons on ethics and good behavior right into people's daily lives.
And wow, did he move fast. In 1709, he drops the Tatler, which was a huge deal, one of the very first publications like it in England. Then just 2 years later, he's back with an even bigger hit, the daily paper, The Spectator. I mean, think about that. He was basically inventing the modern magazine live in real time.
What's so smart is how he tweaked the formula for each one. Think of the Tatler as like your go-to blog for the London social scene. It was gossipy, fun, and super direct. But The Spectator, that was different. He started it with his buddy Joseph Addison, and it was much more thoughtful. They created this persona, Mr. Spectator, who was this quiet guy just watching the world go by and writing about big ideas like love, friendship, and what it means to be a good person.
So, what was the secret sauce?
Well, here's the formula. First, his writing style was super conversational and easy to read. It wasn't stuffy or academic at all. Then, he mixed in a ton of humor with some really serious topics. He'd talk about morality and politics, sure, but he always grounded it in being civil and responsible. And the coolest part? It made his readers feel like they were all in on it together, like part of a community. Kind of sounds like a good blog or a YouTube channel, doesn't it?
And this quote just nails it. Steele knew you couldn't just stand on a soapbox and lecture people. It just doesn't work. You've got to pull them in, make them laugh, and then make them think. For him, humor was the secret weapon. It was the sugar that made the medicine of moral commentary go down. But Steele wasn't done, not by a long shot. He wasn't just a print guy. He decided to take this whole mission of his to another huge media platform of the day, the stage. You have to remember, a lot of the theater back then was, well, it was pretty lowbrow. Just silly jokes and slapstick. Steele looked at that and thought, we can do better. So he basically invented a new genre called sentimental comedy. The whole point was to make the audience actually feel something, not just laugh. His plays were all about digging into real human problems and, you guessed it, promoting good moral character. Okay, so he wrote a bunch of plays, but these three right here really track his journey as a writer. Each one dives deep into a different corner of human relationships. We're talking honesty, marriage, social class, the whole shebang. So let's take a quick look at each one. All right, first up, one of his early ones, The Lying Lover. The setup is pure sitcom gold. A guy tells a bunch of lies, and everything spirals into hilarious chaos. And yeah, the audience is laughing their heads off. But underneath all that comedy, Steele is landing a really important punch, that if you don't have honesty in a relationship, you've got nothing. So just a year later, he levels up and tackles marriage itself in The Tender Husband. Again, the dialogue is super witty and fun, but he's using it to explore that big gap between the fairy tale romance and what it's actually like to be married. He was asking the tough questions, what does it really take to make a partnership last? And his answer was trust, communication, and really understanding each other. But then we get to what a lot of people think is his masterpiece, The Conscious Lovers. And here, he's not just talking about one relationship. He's taking on the entire social system.
He puts this idea out there that your character, your personal virtue, is way more important than your social status. That true love should be able to cross class lines. Now, you gotta understand, for the 1720s, this was a wildly radical thing to say. But he packaged it up in such a great story that people absolutely loved it.
Okay, let's bring it all home. When you add it all up, what is Steele's lasting impact? How did this guy from the 18th century, literally writing with a feather pen, end up creating a blueprint for our own digital age? It really comes down to these 4 simple steps. Step 1, he pioneered the format, the regular periodical. Step 2, he found a brand new audience that no one was talking to. Step 3, he perfected that magic mix of entertainment and meaning. And step 4, he found a voice that was witty, accessible, and made people want to listen. I mean, come on, that's the exact playbook that every great magazine, every popular blog, and yeah, every successful educational channel on the internet uses right now. So yeah, his legacy is just huge. He turned the essay into a major art form. He changed what comedy could be. He basically laid the foundation for modern journalism. But maybe, just maybe, his biggest contribution was proving that media doesn't have to be just empty entertainment. It can be one of the most powerful tools we have to talk about what matters and shape the world we live in. And that really brings us to a final big question for all of us, doesn't it? Steele was convinced that media could be a force for good, that it could promote compassion and make us better citizens. So when you look around today at our own crazy, chaotic media world, you have to wonder, is it living up to that potential? Something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.